How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of Box to Box. The games are coming thick and fast. We've got West Ham here on Sunday afternoon. They're just coming off the back of a Europa League first leg semi-final, and we're coming off the back of two massive wins against Chelsea and Man United, putting us at the top of that top four race. Dan, I'm with Dan. You recognise Dan. You was in the first Box to Box this season, right?
I was. It's good to actually come out, and do it in person. Get out on location. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's nice. I'm enjoying this. It's good to see you, mate.
Yeah, and how are you feeling though? Because obviously last night, Europa League semi-final, the result didn't go your way, but it's still very much all to play for in the second leg.
Yeah, it's a tough one because, like you said, it's all to play for. It's a bit disappointed because it's conceding that goal so early, I think, is just what killed us, really. And now it just makes me even more nervous for that second leg. I desperately want to win this. I desperately want to get to the final. So it's going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot of talk, obviously, how that impacts Sunday. But to us, like, all eyes are on that second leg massively.
That's what I like to hear. Hopefully all eyes of the players and the managers on that second leg too. But talking about that game a bit, you was quite unlucky throughout the game. You hit the woodwork a few times. Obviously you got back in it after that early goal. But you went down 2-1. You still confident in the second leg?
Yeah, I am, because, like you said, so we hit the post, the crossbar, like 3 times, had some great chances. They're a good side, but they seem to do better away from home, and I think we've had a really good record away as well, and I think the players are really going to step up. I think Moyes has assessed the situation in the first leg, and he'll come up with a game plan to go away and step up. I mean, look at, Lyon, the Lyon away, man. We absolutely destroyed them when expectations were
against all odds.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no reason we can't go there. You know what I mean? Even if you get 2-0, a 3-1 or something, like, even take it to extra time penalties, we've got a chance. So I've got to try and be positive. It's hard for me because I get so nervous, so anxious when it comes to West Ham, but we've got to be positive, man.
And there is a balance there, because earlier you said, all eyes are on that second leg, but at the same time we was discussing off camera, there's a risk to that, because if all eggs go into that Europa League basket and you get knocked out, whether it's a semi-final or in the final, and then you're out of the top 6 in the Premier League, next season doesn't look as good as it could have been towards the end of this season. For you, as a West Ham fan, is it really all eyes on that second leg, or do you need to take Arsenal a bit seriously, considering that league position, and you was unlucky to lose to Chelsea last week in the last few minutes, where a point there would have kept you very much firmly in that race?
Yeah, do you know what? I don't think we can just completely discount the Arsenal game. Like you said, we do want to stay around the European places, because if we don't win the Europa League, we want to be back in Europe next season, that's for sure. And with Man United looking so just terrible, there's every chance for us to get that 6th spot. So I think a point against Arsenal, it's a tough ask, going to be a tough ask to come and win it with the players that we will probably want to rest for that Frankfurt game, and the players that we've got missing as well. No Dawson. Zuma's just come back. I don't know if Zuma's going to play. So if Moyes can come up with a solid game plan, keep some strong players in that we need, we can definitely get something. And then a point gives us that positivity, that momentum. We can go, okay, that's great. And then try and just continue to build towards the end of the season. We've got like some winnable games. We've got Norwich coming up as well. So yeah, man, like we can't just sit there and go, there you go, Arsenal. Have the 3 points like Chelsea did against you at their ground.
That's a shame. But listen, in terms of the players, do you have any inside knowledge about potential players being rested, or?
I just have to look at the Chelsea game, and I kind of look at what our key players were that were rested, and you look at the likes of Bowen, who's our top goal scorer. He's been banging in goals. If he goes out, then that's a big worry. So I think he'll be rested. Antonio, he finally scored last night, which is huge for him. Massive. He's someone who, fitness-wise, I just think that he gets fatigued quite a bit, and he's a player that has to be rested. Declan Rice is absolutely crucial. He's pivotal. We cannot have anything happen to Declan Rice. So we may see Noble coming in. And then again, it's just going to be what we do in defence. That's what I don't know what he's going to do, because we had Dawson against Chelsea. He got sent off.
Yep.
He's missing for this. Then we played like a back five, right? So we had Creswell and Johnson, 2 fullbacks playing in there. So it's a case of, is he going to risk Zuma, who's just come back from injury, who went down a few times last night and stayed down for quite a bit and eventually got back up? Or are we going to play 2-3 fullbacks, in defence? Or is he going to finally trust the youngsters?
What do you want to see?
I want to see a mixture. I think it's time to give a young player. We've got Elise, who's very promising young player. Look, we're challenging for the title in the under-23s. Up there, I think it's Man City just leading, then us, then Arsenal. So look, he's obviously got talent. These players are obviously quality. Gives the youngsters a go. Let's go for a back five. Let's be compact and have the experience of Creswell in there, Johnson. Then we can play Soufal right wing back and Masuaku left wing back. Like, try that. But yeah, Zuma, I wouldn't risk him just because he just looked shaky. Even though his seniority is important, yeah, that's a tough one. But I think he'll try and do that. Stay compact, bring Bowen off the bench, bring Rice off the bench if need be. Leave the heavy hitters there. So yeah, you'll see some strong players, but not completely.
Nah, I hear you. Listen, I hope you do rest Zuma as well, because that should make life easier for us come Sunday. Looking at Arsenal, Dan, who's the main threats for you? Who do you guys need to nullify in order to get something out of this game?
It's got to be Saka.
Yeah.
He's the man that I think is going to cause us all sorts of problems. So playing a back five, you allow then the wing back, and that's the side, because he comes out on the right, isn't it? Yeah, on the right. So you get the left-sided centre back in. Creswell, Masuaku could double up on him and try and nullify him that way. So he's definitely the biggest threat that I worry about. Odegaard, he can create problems for sure. Like, I know, like, he's been on and off, in the past few games for sure, but he can always create something. He can always cause problems. So he's going to be a big threat. It's weird, Nketiah has been someone like a lot of Arsenal fans have not wanted to see in the team. He seems to be getting a little bit of momentum. As it comes time to the end of the season, he's thinking, I want some offers. I want some new contracts coming my way.
In the shop window.
Yeah, exactly. Put himself out in the shop window. Get his agents like, all right, come on, turn it on now. Like, he's got that ability. I think he's got that bit of pace to cause us problems. So they're the players I'm worried about. I don't know if you've got any of your injured players back. Tomiyasu, I don't know what his situation is.
He came back in the last 5 against United, so he should be back in.
Yeah, so
this is our priority, the Premier League. This is all we have.
That's it. This is huge, and that's what gives me a little bit of comfort. Is the pressure is on you.
100%.
Like, we don't have. If we lose this game, we're just gonna shrug our shoulders. Look, it's all about Frankfurt. As much as we want to see us get something, it's going to be like, okay, cool, Frankfurt. But for you guys, like, you're neck and neck with Spurs. It's literally now a case of who's gonna keep pace, who's gonna fall away, and they've got Leicester, I believe.
Yep.
So anyone who drops points next, you're giving up a massive advantage when there's less games to come and rescue it, man. So the pressure's on, and it's a lot of young players there. How can they deal with that pressure? How can they rise to that? So I'm interested to see it. Yeah. I'm hoping they don't on Sunday. I'm hoping they don't.
Nah, it's mad. You're right, because every single game, it's so tight there with us and Tottenham and United over the last couple of weeks, but they've dropped out of it now with a loss and a draw. Every game can swing it. Every game swings it and puts the pressure on the other side. I mean, Tottenham played just before us on Sunday, so we will know where we're at in comparison to Tottenham before that West Ham game even kicks off. So that'll be interesting too, because if Tottenham go and drop points again, the win should be firmly behind us. But, that pressure, that young team, they haven't been part of a top 4 battle before. Listen, the top 4 battle is not the be-all, end-all in football. But for this young team, this is the first time they're feeling the pressure, in my opinion. Because throughout this season, it's, Arsenal fans, the club, we've been very supportive. It's more or less been a free reign, develop, take your chances when you come and look at Martinelli when he stepped in, when Oba left. This is now the last 5 games of the season. All of that good work that this young side has done for the first 33, 34 games, let's get it over the line in the last few.
Do you know what the thing is? Here's what I think the problem you may have is, prior to Chelsea, you seem to struggle to score goals. You go to Chelsea, a team at home who is going to be more on the front foot, going to give you a little bit more opportunities at the back. Man United, who, you know, they played better going forward, still defensively shambles,
Suspect, yeah.
not as compact, whereas us, because of the situation, the circumstances, we're going to play a much more compact, low block style
Similar
football.
to the Chelsea game.
Yeah, that's yeah, exactly.
Rigid
and they really, it weren't until we got a man sent off. Stupid, you know, it was a stupid thing anyway. Like, but then they found that space. That's the question: is how are you going to be able to handle us if we are playing so defensive and compact? Are you going to be able to break us down, or are we going to be able to hold on and then maybe throw on a Bowen or an Antonio late on the game, maybe snatch it or get that point? It's going to be very interesting.
It is. We'll see how it goes. But listen, I want to talk about Moyes and Arteta as well. Let's start with Arteta, because if I'm not mistaken, earlier this season when we spoke, you was a bit dubious about Mikel, and has that changed?
No, I mean, I've been for a while, like since he come in, I've never really rated Arteta as the man. Not to say, like, I'm not saying he's just a complete trash manager, but I've always said that I don't think he is the man to take Arsenal where you want to be, right? Which is back consistently in the top four, eventually challenging, right? That's why Wenger got out, you know, because he finally slipped out of that top four. Wenger out was there when you stopped challenging.
Yeah.
Then Emery as well, so he's been given a lot of patience, but he just seems to go through, and Arsenal's always done this, you know, you have that good run. And when you're on that good run, everyone seems to forget and gets swept up in, oh, this is amazing, Arteta's the guy. Then you go on a bad run. Momentum shifts.
Yeah.
And then you get that win again. And it's just a constant back and forth. And I just feel like Arsenal need a top manager. You look at Liverpool, you look at Man City, you look at Chelsea. Now Man United, they're getting Ten Hag in. Like, you've got a novice. You've got an absolute novice as a manager. If you want to be that team again, you've got to get top. Look, Spurs have got Conte. They've got him in halfway through the season. He ain't got all these players in and that, and he's sort of got them in that top four race from that disaster. So if Arsenal don't want to get left behind, in my opinion, you have to go and find a top manager. Maybe a Simeone, you're saying. He's not going to play well, like you say the Arsenal way, but prior to Wenger, you weren't that attacking team.
1-0 to the Arsenal.
Yeah, you want to win things, like just getting back. And I said this because, okay, you get back in Champions League, right? Now, you've had no Europe this season, out of the FA Cup early, focusing on the league. If you get that Champions League, then it's going to be a question of, well, now you've got to sustain. And it's not like the Europa League where you can maybe rest some players in the early stages. You're going to have to go all out in that competition.
From September onwards,
And then try and manage a top four race at the same time. Yes, of course, you're going to make signings, you're going to spend money. But at the same time, is it enough to sustain that? And is he the man to do that? Big question mark. So I know a lot of Arsenal fans, a lot of Arteta fans are not going to like that. That's just my perspective. He can prove me wrong, but look, he spent a lot of money. His expectations have to come with that. And he needs to start delivering. And next season, he's going to... I think, look, if you don't get top four, he's got to go.
Okay.
But if he is still here, that's got to be his season to deliver, surely, to really show Arsenal are going to be one of these teams.
Yeah, because throughout this season, you know, amongst ourselves and the Arsenal fans, there's been a lot of division over the years. This season, however, there has been division, but there's been also a lot of unified support for this young team. But that division comes from, if he doesn't make top four, should he be sacked? Should he get a new contract? Because he'll be going into his final year next season. Obviously, you'll have a bulk of Arsenal fans saying top four or gone. And you'll have some saying, none of us expected top six at the start of the season, but we're in the top four battle. So that's the division that we have at this moment in time.
I think people have a little bit of a romantic idea or idealism about the idea of, you know, this young manager. Everyone likes a young manager. We have a young manager, used to play for Arsenal, could be here for years and build a dynasty and all of that. And that sounds amazing. We all like that idea. Like, whenever managers come about, you know, you want to try and get the young up and coming manager. But sometimes you just got to look at it and go, he's not his time.
Yeah.
Like, he's not ready to do what needs to be done at Arsenal. Maybe he can go away, go in another league, drop down a few points in the table. You know, like, I think the Everton job probably would have been a bit more ideal for him. This isn't it. This is huge. You guys have to be back on top. Otherwise, what is the point?
Yeah.
Like, really and truly.
Going in circles. What about Moyes, Dan? Obviously, Moyes came in around the same time as Mikel into Arsenal. West Ham were in a relegation, not battle because it was earlier in the season, but relegation zone, let's say. But since then, you know, he's kicked on, he's achieved in the league, he's managed to improve you guys, he's added depth, he's added quality, and now you're in your first European semi-final for how long?
Yeah, well, I think it was like 46 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's huge. Look, and it's kind of the opposite, where there was a lot of Arsenal fans who was on the Arteta train at the start and then sort of maybe had doubts later. I was firmly not on the Moyes train.
Oh, not again.
Like, that was me. There's literally a video, like, I'd done a reaction, and I was like, this is just embarrassing that we've gone back to Moyes.
Yeah.
Like, his first time around, I did not enjoy the football we played. Very defensive against the likes of Stoke, who was at the time worst team in the league, and I was just like, oh, really? Is he really going to be that guy? And he come back and proved me and a lot of us wrong. Like, as soon as he come back in, we switched and we started coming from that relegation battle, just climbing the table on massive, great form. And then it's like the next season, we're in a top 4 race.
Yeah.
Like, madness. And in this season, we've been in the top 4 race. We're out of it now, but because we're focusing more on the Europa League.
It's understandable.
You know, and you wonder, okay, if we didn't have Europe, could we have been able to snatch that top 4? Either way, what it feels like he is trying to build something. There's still things and times where he frustrates me, but that's all managers, and you're never going to agree with everything your manager does.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he has come in and he's transformed the culture of the club. He's got the team running, working hard, and his signings, for the most part, have been spot on. So we have to give him money next season.
Yeah.
Club have to sit there and go, right, here's a massive transfer fee budget, because we have to show that ambition to him and to our players like Declan Rice as well.
So with Arteta, you said obviously your opinion of a new contract or whether he continues an Arsenal job rests on top 4. What about with Moyes? Does his job rest on anything, or is it, you've done your job this season, you've showed us improvement, whatever happens in the Europa League or this top 6 race that you're in at the moment, you want him to get the money?
Yeah, like, I think, look, even if, say, we get knocked out of the Europa League, we go out of the semi-final, we finish like 7th, or worst case scenario, 8th, it's massively disappointing. And he has to take some of the blame as well for not signing players. It's there's a lot of similarities, I think, this season between Arsenal and West Ham and how we've gone about certain things.
In the January window.
In the January window and things like that. Arteta is I think, very similar mindset of Moyes. He was like, I don't want to sign players for the sake of signing players. We want to get the right player. And you got to respect that, but at the same time, when you're chasing something, you can't think long term, okay, we're going to be stuck with players, we can't shift on. It's like, no, get the job done this season. Deal with those issues later. Let's achieve. And that will be my problem with Moyes, but I can't say sack him based on it, because we didn't expect things to turn around this quickly in the first place. So it's kind of like he's raised the bar himself, and if he falls short, he's got to have another chance to say, give him some money and we go again, because we're still, the problem with West Ham, we'd have a season where we'd be up there, the next season down there, and it'd be like that.
Yeah.
And he's keeping us consistent, and that was always the thing for me. Have to be season after season. And that's why what I said, whatever Moyes achieved last season, getting us 6th, I was like, that's good. But next season, I want to see us there again. Otherwise, it's all for nothing.
Yeah, funnily enough, I mean, I'm going to mention ownership as well, because, over the years, we've both been very much against our owners, and I still am with the Kroenkes, and I'm sure you still are with yours. But this season, both West Ham and Arsenal, there's been questions. Has the ownership changed? Have they, found that light? January, with Mikel Arteta, he came out in the first week and said, you need to maximise every window. And then we went on to buy no one and sell a few players. So that, to me, tells me it must be from above. That restriction came in place. You're very much putting it on Moyes. Is there any,
Yeah, I think there's a combination there, because I think at the same time, the people at the top, they have to have the structure in place that when we get to that January transfer window, we have all those targets identified. We have a list of, look, if you can't get this target, what about the next target? And we have to be prepared.
Yeah.
Moyes went into that January transfer window and said, we're not ready for it. How can that be? In August, from the August summer window, we didn't get what we needed. We didn't get that striker. We've known all them months we needed a striker. So how comes when we get to this point, we're not prepared with all these targets, and start doing a feeling out process? And I think it's similar, like, and if the managers, and this is the thing, Arteta's put it on himself, Moyes has put it on himself, and as much as I have a problem with our ownership, you have a problem with your ownership, if the manager's willing to take it on themselves, they've got to take the criticism, because then you're shielding them. If it wasn't you, then you're protecting them. So either way, you have to take some flack for that, because there has to be some pressure put on the owners to get that in. Obviously, you're not going to come out and go, well, they didn't give me the money, but there's ways of wording things politically to let people know what's going on.
Conte does it well. Well, Pochettino did it at Tottenham as well a couple of summers.
Just so people know politically, this is kind of the situation. We did want to, but the funds weren't there, or we didn't have, there's ways of saying it. And now we look at it and go, okay, for whatever reason, we didn't get what we needed in January. So show us then it's not a money thing, and spend in the summer big. If it was just a case of, it's January window's difficult, we couldn't get our targets, and we didn't want to just bring in players for the sake of it. If it's all of that, we know that what we need in the summer, you've got all of this time now, no excuses. Get in exactly what we need. And it annoys me, because as a fan, you're probably in a similar situation. You always feel like you're looking forward. You always feel like the next window we're going to address it. No, the next window, and that annoys me. When we don't get something in August, it's like, don't worry, January window, we're saving our money for January. January comes, we're saving it for summer, and then you're in a cycle. And it's
tell me about it, Dan. Trust me, because I'm 100% with you, and I think the same with Arsenal. I mean, we didn't capitalise on January. We know what we needed. Get it done in the summer. We've still got a top 4 race to finish off, but get it done in the summer. Edu has come out recently and said, we've got a plan for top 4. We've got a plan if we finish just outside top 4. That's what I want to hear, but I need to see it as well, because Arsenal are good at talking sometimes and not as good as doing. But let's get to that stage now. Prediction time, Dan. You play here Sunday, West Ham away. Tell me, what are you thinking?
Do you know what? Just the way things are going, I can fully see a ball draw 0-0.
Yeah.
I can see it. I mean, you never know, like Chelsea way, there could be a bit of drama where some team snatches a little 1-0. But I just think, we're going to be very compact. I think you'll struggle to break us down. We're not going to really have the firepower going forward due to the players that we're resting. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see a ball draw. But again, like with the players that we're resting at the same time, you've got every chance of winning it. So I don't really give us much of a chance of winning it, but I'm going to say 0-0.
0-0. I'm going to go for a 2-1. I'm going to be optimistic with it. You've got injuries, you're going to rotate. You've got your eye on the second leg Europa League semi-final. We've got Tomiyasu back in. Eddie, he's showing something. And I hope Martinelli does feature as well, because Martinelli is that threat that, he's very different to Emil and Saka. He's just a different threat to deal with. And we've seen in some of the big games how difficult, for example, Trent found to deal with him. So I'm going 2-1. I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal and hope for the 3 points.
Because you need it.
We need it, bro.
There's no draws, no anything acceptable. You have to win it, man. It's huge.
It is. Every game's huge now.
Every game's a cup final for you. You got to look at it like that. And boy, if you don't drop points, I know you're going to be mad at us.
I'm weary of saying that, because every game was a cup final after the international break, and we lost 3 in a row. So I want to,
Lee Judges was going to me, look, I want West Ham to win, but if we don't beat you, then I hope you lose. I'm like, I said, you've got to be more mad at yourselves. It's yourselves.
And start blaming you and supporting Frankfurt on Thursday.
Exactly. You joined in there with some salty Spurs fans, we know.
Right, listen, people, I'm going to be doing a preview on Dan's channel. Dan, let them know where they can find you.
Yes, West Ham Fan TV. Obviously, Turkish is going to be on there with me, and we're going to be doing all sorts of content. And if you want to follow me, @TheLawless on Twitter.
Yeah, we'll put the channel in the title, and we'll put everything else in the description below. People, as always, love for the love. Hit the like button and let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. There's a pinned tweet. Give us your predictions under that pinned tweet. Love for the love. We are out. On to Sunday.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.